The grand facade here on Granville Street is all that is left of the striking neoclassical St Andrew's Halls. Ravaged by fire in 1962, the remaining facade was integrated into the neighbouring Mitchell Library in 1980. The largest of the halls was the Grand Hall, with a capacity of 4,500 people, and it soon became a popular location for political rallies. One of the most regular speakers at the hall was socialist agitator John Maclean. Thousands would gather to hear Maclean and his contemporaries speak about socialism and their coming liberation through world revolution. But it wasn't just eager socialists sitting in the crowd. Police spies would come to the rallies, taking notes of what was being said, and more importantly, by whom. During this period, strict laws were in place restricting freedom of speech, with anyone deemed to be speaking against the country jailed for often many years. Maclean himself was jailed on 5 occasions under various offences, but all were linked to political speeches that he'd made. Maclean's imprisonment had a huge effect on his health and ultimately led to his premature death at the age of 44. In 1948, to mark the 50th anniversary of his birth, Maclean's friends and supporters met once again here at St Andrew's Halls, this time in a celebration of his life. The Scottish USSR Society organised a gathering with Hamish Henderson, the poet, songwriter and intellectual, singing his John Maclean's March for the very first time. Many of the people involved in the gathering, such as Henderson, had never met Maclean, but felt a massive affinity towards him, with his legend being passed on by the previous generation. One of the organisers was Hugh MacDiarmid, a Scottish modernist poet. He had been deeply influenced by Maclean and saw him as one of the most significant Scots ever, with much of his ideology being integral to the formation of MacDiarmid's view of Scotland and the world. He wrote 2 poems about Maclean, one entitled John Maclean and the other Krassivy, both praising him dearly. MacDiarmid was a leading figure in what became known as the Scottish Renaissance. This flourishing of culture allowed for an exploration of modernist ideas with a distinctly Scottish voice, with this reassertion of Scottish identity continuing to grow throughout the 20th century as the empire declined and massive transformations took place in British society. Maclean would have been pleased to see this re-emergence of Scottishness. He had believed that liberation for the working classes would only come with independence for Scotland. The country must have one clan, he said, a united people working in cooperation and cooperatively, using the wealth that is created.